Here's what no one tells you about homemaking and why it's actually okay to feel overwhelmed. The first thing nobody tells you about homemaking is that it's a never-ending job. The work as a homemaker is never ever done, but that's totally okay because tomorrow is a new day. Now, what I failed to realize when I first became a homemaker is that not everything under the sun had to be done in the same God-given day. And the reason is because tomorrow will be another day and the laundry is just going to start all over and there will be more dishes tomorrow. And guess what? In the morning, your bed will be unmade. And all of those things are okay. I used to feel less than if at the end of the day, I didn't accomplish 1,000 things on my to-do list, but I soon began to realize that it is indeed a never-ending job. So it's like if we're trying to collect all the droplets of rain every single day, knowing that tomorrow it will rain again. There has to be some sort of balance here. Now, it's okay to have goals and it's okay to want your home look the very best that it could. However, that doesn't mean that we will somehow discover the secret code that will make homemaking be one and done. Our family wears clothes every single day. They eat every single day. We all sleep in our beds. The home will get dirty and that's okay. Tomorrow is another day and we will get another chance to clean everything all over again. Do not feel like you have to do everything in one day because that is setting yourself up for failure. I used to do it for many years. I'm here today to tell you it is a never-ending job. You will not finish today. You will not finish next week. In fact, you won't finish ever. But that is the opposite of discouraging because if you break it down into bite-sized pieces, your home will always be manageable and you will always have something to do. So there's that. The next thing that nobody tells you about homemaking is that it's more about creating a home than it is about cooking and cleaning. That in and of itself is the very difference between a housekeeper and a homemaker. People can hire a housekeeper and there's nothing wrong with housekeepers. Absolutely not. They're wonderful and fantastic and they do a great job. However, the difference is that we're homemakers. We put love into creating our homes. And that's not to say that housekeepers don't have love into what they do. They do put love into what they do. However, as homemakers, we create homes. We create memories for our families. If we are cleaning our whole entire home every single day and our home is spotless and our family is fed, but we are yelling at them to don't touch the couch cushion and do not wrinkle our curtains, then the answer is we probably haven't succeeded very much as a homemaker. Now, that is not to condemn anyone or to say you're doing it wrong. Let's be mindful about how we treat our loved ones and the memories that we are making, more so than how pressed our sheets are. Now, that's not to say we're not going to take care of the appearance of our homes, but simply it's more about creating said home first. When our children grow up and they go off on their own, they're more likely to remember how we made them feel versus how clean the house was. So let's remember that every time we feel stressed out about our homemaking. The next thing nobody tells you about homemaking is that there is comfort in the small, mundane moments. In those quiet times where we are folding sheets or doing our dishes, there is a peaceful, still moment that comes in that. If we let it, of course. Otherwise, if we're going around the hustle and bustle and treating it like this frantic activity, you might not get these quiet and joyful moments. It took me a long time to realize this. But when we slow it down and appreciate those mundane tasks, they are so peaceful and so joyful, and they are actually the cherry on the cake of my everyday today. We can find joy in every little thing that we do. For example, every time I fold clothes, I start thinking about how my family has worn the clothes and how it kept them warm. And when I am doing dishes, I think about the nourishing meals that I have fed my family. And these are some of the most peaceful and joyful moments I have during the whole entire day. Next to maybe having a dance party while I'm cleaning. But there is something quite special and peaceful about these quiet, mundane moments. The next thing nobody tells you about homemaking is that you can't do it all, but that's perfectly fine. One of the biggest myths is that a good homemaker has it all together all of the time. What we're really seeing on social media is a highlight reel, a little snippet of one's life, if you will. We're not seeing the full picture, and needless to say, the actual reality of what their life and home really looks like all of the time. So let go of the pressure to be perfect, let go of the expectations that you see online. None of it is real. The reality is we cannot do everything perfect, and that is okay. Give yourself grace, and remember that it's more about consistency than it is about daily perfection. The next thing that nobody tells you about homemaking is that you will be surprised how much you actually learn about yourself. Homemaking isn't just about running a household. You actually discover yourself throughout the process. It's a journey of self-discovery and learning where you learn patience, creativity, resilience. You might even discover new passions and skills that you never expected to enjoy, such as cooking, crafting, and budgeting, just to name a few. And you learn more about yourself each and every day, what kind of person you are, the parts that you may like about yourself, or even the parts that you wish to improve. It is a journey of self-discovery, and the more we make homemaking a journey instead of a set of to-do lists, the more we actually get to learn about ourselves each and every day. The next thing that nobody tells you about homemaking is that it's actually super lonely. Homemaking can sometimes feel super isolating, especially if you're home alone with children, because cannot necessarily drop everything and go to the gym or go to a class or anything like that. We have our children to consider and to take along with us. But it is super important to remember that other homemakers feel like this too, even if they're not necessarily talking about it all of the time. Finding a supportive community, whether online or locally, can make all of the difference. It super has for me. And if you don't have a community, feel free to use this one. I answer all of my comments, and there's a group of wonderful, fantastic ladies here that you can connect with to share your homemaking journey and experiences and even troubles. This helps to remind us that we are a bigger part of a sisterhood of homemakers and that we are not alone. And if you're a Christian girly like me, always remember that you have God, and He is definitely not going to leave you or forsake you. The next thing that nobody tells you about homemaking is that though our efforts go unseen, it doesn't mean that they are not important. A lot of work we do as homemakers isn't flashy or even noticed right away. In fact, the tidier you keep your home, the more difficult it will be to see when you actually dusted or did other things, because that is just the standard that you have set for your home. So the difference will not be so noticeable that you're keeping up with your dusting and mopping every single week. And even things like organizing a closet or preparing meals for our family are just things that eventually our family does get accustomed to and might even expect. But actually, these behind the scenes efforts can help to create a loving, nurturing, and caring environment for our families. And that is super duper important for their upbringing. So even if no one is saying thank you, just know that your work is valuable and meaningful. But if nobody has told you, then let me be the first. You're doing amazing. Everything you do for your home is definitely making an impact in the lives of those in it. Every time you fix a meal, every time you wash the laundry, every time you pick up a sock from the floor, your efforts matter. They're important. They're shaping our children as they grow up. They're shaping our loved ones. They're making your home a beautiful, warm, loving, cozy, and inviting place. You are a homemaker. And that is a wonderful calling and a fantastic role. Homemaking always has a bajillion things to do, but did you know that there are actually some things that we can do to simplify our homemaking? And not a lot of people talk about this, but if you want to know what these are, then check out this video here and I'll meet you there right now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, to God be the glory. Bye.